That is my goal with these videos, is to give you practical things that you can do in your everyday life and implement them at home. I don't want to give you like pie in the sky Instagram advice. I want to give you real advice that you can do in your own home with your kids. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler, and today we're going to tackle a topic that I get asked about quite often. So I get asked about mom motivation because a lot of you guys see me on Instagram and you guys know that I'm like super busy. I have 2 brands that I am juggling, plus I'm doing homeschool, and I obviously have this YouTube channel, and I don't hire out for anything. I actually do all the YouTube stuff myself. Plus, you guys know that I work out about 6 days a week, and yeah, like life is super busy and it's so hard sometimes to stay motivated. So we're gonna talk about self-motivation and how to keep motivated as not just a homeschool mom, but just a mom, like just mom motivation. So let's talk about this topic. First, if it is your first time here or if you are returning, I want to say hello and make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button because it really does help me and my whole family out when you do that. So I really appreciate it. Also, there is a free group down below of homeschool parents and myself included, and that's pretty much where I hang out all day long, is in this group, and it's like my favorite place to be. So it is free to you. Go ahead and hit that link and you can come and join us. I feel like mom motivation is something that, especially in the last couple years, I have really struggled with because you guys know that I have a chronic illness and there are days where I'm just not feeling it. And I have to stay motivated anyway because I have stuff to do. I have work at home. I have 2 jobs that I currently work at home with, and I have homeschooling and all the mom duties piled on top of that. So how do I get everything done? I have the same 24 hours as everybody else. So I have some tips for you that are going to be super helpful, I hope. At least this is how I do this and how I basically get things done. So first, I would say do not aim for perfection because you're going to be sorely disappointed if you do. And this is something that I have struggled with over the years, and I am finally at a place where I can say, okay, it's all right. If it's not perfect, it's okay. We still did what we needed to do. And when you try to strive for perfection in anything, whether that is stuff around your house or if it's with homeschooling, and I know I'm guilty of this when I see like those pretty Instagram pictures and those pretty Pinterest pictures, and you know, my family does not look anything like that, especially because I have a couple of wild boys. I have like perfectionist syndrome, and I'm just like, oh, I wish my house looked like that. And it doesn't. I have a very modest house, and the ones that I see on Instagram and Pinterest, they don't look like that. You know, I don't have a farmhouse style table and my kids doing poetry tea time. Like that's not my life. That's not my kids. So I think I struggle sometimes with like the perfectionist image, and I have to remind myself that what we're doing is striving for is not that. What we're striving for is kingdom work, okay? And if you're Christians, you probably understand what I mean by kingdom work. My goal is to make disciples of Christ, not to have pretty Pinterest pictures. So that's the number 1 thing I gotta look at. Number 2, teach independence. I think this is probably the best thing that I have ever done in my whole homeschool, is teach my kids to be independent and how to work independently without me. So because I'm self-motivated, I'm teaching my kids how to be self-motivated. And a lot of times that involves me writing down their schedule or having something that has their schedule on it. And I have their subject listed and what they need to do for that subject, whether it's reading pages, whether it's whatever book they have to read from this page to this page, the assignment, all of that. Having that out for them actually helps them and me, because then they're not coming to me every 5 minutes going, I'm done, what do I do next? It can drive someone crazy. Now, moms of littles, this might be a few years off for you, but that doesn't mean that you can't start right now teaching them independence. And you can start teaching them to work without you and to do those things, and you just give them a little more independence, you know, week by week. And eventually you get to this point where I'm at now, where I can go and clean the house and they can do schoolwork and it's all good. I can do, you know, a couple hours of work in between school subjects, which actually helps me out so much. So start teaching independence early. And if you guys need a video on more tips on how I teach my kids to work independently of me, please let me know and I will do that for you. It's something that is very near and dear to my heart and has helped me out so much, because I can have a day where like I'm sick or something and my kids will just work without me. It's lovely. Number 3, establish a routine so your kids know when they are doing school time and when they know they can play. And that was something that I established pretty early on. And there's a difference between a routine and a schedule, and I'll say it again. The schedule is like 9 o'clock we do this, 9:30 we do this, 10 o'clock we do this. It has timestamps, okay? A routine is just we wake up, we have breakfast, and then we start this, and then we start this, and then we start this. There's no timestamps. And honestly, I think a routine is better for kids than a schedule, because if they feel rushed, it can get a little stressful. And quite honestly, we take our kids out of school to reduce the stress, so we don't need to do that. Just give them a routine, and then they know when they finish whatever, they can play for a little while. Or, you know, at the end of the day, if that's playtime, then that's playtime. My kids prefer to do all their schoolwork and then have the rest of the day, and rather than have like a break in the middle, because then they feel like their day is longer. They would rather do all their work and then go off and play for the rest of the day, and they don't have to worry about school. That's just my kids' preference. You know, you do what works for you. Number 4, if everybody is having a day, and you know what I mean by having a day. If y'all are just having a bad day, take it off. It's okay. You can have a day off. This happens in my house quite frequently sometimes because I get sick. So if I'm having a day where, you know, my body decides to flare up and I just cannot do life that day, we either do couch school, or if I'm really bad, we take off the whole day. So don't feel like you have to go Monday through Friday every single week for 9 solid months. You can take a break. You go on a field trip. Field trips are lovely. Take breaks. Well, I like to do what they call Sabbath schooling, which means that we work for 6 weeks and take off the 7th week. And we school pretty much year round, and we take about a month off for summer. But for the most part, I like to take longer breaks during the whole school year so we can take field trips and stuff when everybody else is in school, which means no lines anywhere. It's fantastic. It's such a nice brain break, and it really helps me stay motivated because I don't burn out. That helps me eliminate that homeschool burnout when we have weeks like that. Which also leads me to number 5, which is take breaks to avoid burnout. So, you know, number 4 is really take a day off if you need it. Number 5 is you are going to need it, so take some weeks off during the school year. I mean, think about this, okay? And if it takes a little while to remember, I will remind you here. For all of us who went to public school, like myself, or taught in public school, the last few weeks of school, and usually the last week of a semester, what are kids typically doing? Watching movies and reviewing. Those weeks are pretty much catch-up weeks for teachers. Also, there are teacher prep days that are in there, or teacher in-service days that we would do where the kids would be at home and we would be coming into work. So it's not like teachers don't do this too. You just might not realize it because on the calendar it just says an off day for students. But for the teachers, they're in the classroom preparing and catching up on stuff. Having those weeks off allows me to take trips like we're getting ready to do. It allows me to have a brain break. It allows me to catch up on work because I work 2 jobs at home and it gets a little bit crazy. It allows me to catch up on work or do things with my kids or just do whatever the heck I want to do. So we avoid burnout like that because a lot of times during spring, before around month 7-ish or so, people start getting burnout, and it's very common. Don't think that it just happens to you. It happens to all of us. And the way to eliminate that, or the way to kind of get through that, is by taking breaks. So take a break. You need it. Your kids need it. Everybody needs it. We all need it. The last thing that I would suggest is have your own mom goals. This has been so I guess, refreshing for me because I'm a very goal-oriented person, and goals are the things that motivate me probably more than anything else. Like, whether that is a number goal or, you know, a financial goal or, you know, a fitness goal, I need a goal. Like, I set goals and I smash them, and that's what motivates me is doing that. I love doing that. Find something that motivates you. Find something that you like to do that is not school related, like no school related. It has to be a hobby. It has to be something that you like, and it has to be not kid related, okay? I want you to find something that is just for you, whether that's cooking or painting or hiking or boating if you have a boat. I wish I had a boat. Whatever that is, find your thing and do that, because you know what? Our kids are going to be little for 18 years. I say little, but you know what I mean. We're gonna have our kids for 18 years, and then you know what? They're gonna go off on their own, and it's gonna be you. And if you wrap up your whole identity in homeschooling and being motivated to homeschool, what are you gonna do when they graduate? I don't want you to lose your identity in homeschool. I don't want to lose my identity in homeschool. Education is very important to me. You guys know that. You guys know I was a teacher. I still feel like I am a teacher. I'm still teaching you, you know? But my identity is not homeschool. My identity is in Christ, and there are other things outside of school that I like. I love theology. I'm a theology nerd. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that. I love to paint, and I love to cook, and I love to go on dates with my husband, and I like to hike, and I like to be outside, and I love to read. These things keep my sanity. So I find that thing that keeps your sanity and make sure that you carve out time to do that, even if it's just 15 minutes a day. It's not something that's easy for me. So if I can do this, you can do this. We can do this together. And if you want to join me in my journey, just you can follow me on Instagram. My handle is Amanda Maltz, and find me on there. I will leave a link down to it below, and you can follow all of our journeys over in our homeschool group too. I'd love to have you over there. It's my favorite place on the internet, like I always say. And yeah, you can see what we do for mom motivation too, because I'm sure we're going to be talking about it. So I hope that this was helpful for you in some way. I hope you guys were able to take something away from it so you can integrate it in your daily life. And that is my goal with these videos, is to give you practical things that you can do in your everyday life and implement them at home. I don't want to give you like pie in the sky Instagram advice. I want to give you real advice that you can do in your own home with your kids. So hopefully that is what you guys got today. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and happy homeschooling.